Well, it turns out that Kamala Harris actually didn't win the debate. Well, I mean, I know what some of the polling said. I'll get to that. I mean, you have to define winning, right? I mean, Lance Armstrong technically won the Tour de France 7 times, right? But what happened? Well, once it was discovered that he was a cheater, that he cheated, those were removed. Those titles were taken away. So, the left can sit there and claim all day and celebrate that Kamala Harris won the debate. But what does it mean to win the debate and have no improvement in the polls, for example? Okay, you won the debate. And of course, we know how Kamala Harris, quote unquote, won the debate. She didn't do a lot of debating herself, of course. In fact, it was her collaborators, right? Her teammates. It was 3v1. That's what happened on the debate. It was a sabotage, it was an ambush, and it was Kamala Harris and the two ABC moderators, David Muir and Lindsay Davis. No D, Linsey. Her parents forgot the D in her name, Lindsay. So David Muir and Lindsay Davis and Kamala Harris, the three of them took on Donald Trump. That's actually how scary Donald Trump was to them. That's how good of a debater apparently Donald Trump was to them, because Kamala Harris wasn't up for the task herself. They had to go in 3v1, and it turns out that they didn't get the result they wanted in the end because, of course, and this is what I'm going to get into. I mean, she still lost, and she's losing in retrospect, in hindsight. As we unpack the debate itself, as we have the benefit of time and hindsight, that win is not looking very much like a win at all because, of course, they cheated. I mean, don't doubt me on that. I know you cringed watching the debate like I did, and it was not a cringe. It was a cringe because it was like you were watching, somebody shoot up steroids as they went to the plate. And so you're sitting there thinking, okay, this is unfair. And it turns out the Americans that watched the debate didn't consider her the winner either. I mean, not really. Well, you know what it was like watching this debate? It was like watching a biological male compete against a female in an athletic competition. Did they win? No, don't consider that person a winner. You don't consider whatever the man with the long hair, that put on the one piece that beat Riley Gaines in the NCAA Division One. You don't consider him the winner. No. And that's what happened here. And that's what we're finding out more and more. So the American people saw that it was rigged, and they apparently don't like it. We got a lot to get into today. This is Drew Allen. It's great to be with you here today. Now, look, I mean, I've got a story here about undecideds. So Kamala Harris wins the debate, right? And yet here I have a story about undecideds breaking for Trump. Reuters spoke with 10 undecided voters who have voted for Republicans and Democrats in the past. Of those, just 3 have decided to vote for Harris, while 6 now lean toward or plan to vote for Trump. So think about this. The left is out there having a heyday. They're having fun. They're celebrating. Oh, Kamala Harris and 2 debaters. She won a rigged debate. And yet, of 10 undecided voters that Reuters spoke to, 6 of them now lean towards Trump. That's not victory, is it? And this is so fun to watch, folks. This is so fun to watch. I mean, this is like divine intervention to some extent. All of their plotting, all of their planning, all of their rigging of everything since 2016, Trump-Russia collusion, quid pro quo, insurrection, endless persecutions and lawfare, an assassination attempt that he survived. And here we are. They have a debate they claim to have won after rigging the debate, and 6 of the independents now lean towards Trump. The opposite result that they want. So they can celebrate winning all day long, but it won't matter in the end. Here's a couple quotes from the people that Reuters interviewed. I felt like the whole debate was Kamala Harris telling me why not to vote for Donald Trump instead of why she's the right candidate. Exactly right. That's what Robert Wheeler said from the swing state of Nevada. Another one, Mark Kadish of Florida. I still don't know what she's for. There was no real meat and bones for her plans. And they're out there trying to criticize Trump for not having a plan. It's the exact opposite that these independents walked away thinking. She didn't kind of separate herself, said Shavanaka Kelly from Wisconsin, another swing state voter. She says she's still on the fence. Jason Henderson of Arizona, former Obama turned Trump voter, was even more blunt. Trump had the more commanding presentation. He said, "There was nothing done by Harris that made me think she's better in any way." And another woman told CNN, "When facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office." And that's the truth. And that's what the American people are facing right now with their decision. The Democrats are hoping that their 8+ years of attacks and character assassinations against Trump are enough to convince people like Dick Cheney to abandon everything that they claim to represent: freedom, the Constitution, tax cuts, a strong military, and so on and so forth. They're going to abandon all their ideals and vote for a communist in Kamala Harris because they are convinced that they don't like the character of Trump. But I got to tell you, people are hurting every single day out there more and more from inflation. No one feels at ease or peace about what's happening, not just in this country with the illegal invasion, with inflation and the economy, but abroad with wars. They're not feeling comfortable. They're not sleeping well at night, and they know they need new leadership. And Kamala Harris is not new leadership. She's the same leadership that we have suffered under since 2020 or January 20th, 2021, to be more exact, when Joe Biden was actually became the president of the United States. But people know this. This is resonating. Harris received 0 votes. These people know that this was unfair to them, even Democrats, that they shanked Joe Biden, that they're trying to pull a fast one on the American people. And so, perfect quote, "The media can have their little party for her, like they did after she became the candidate, but you can't pay for groceries with style points. She failed to explain how she's going to help people afford to live." And that is exactly right. And that's all that's ultimately going to matter. And that's all Trump has to do is keep reminding people of that. Now, I want to give you some context here about measuring, debate victory and what it really means. Does it mean anything? Because no doubt, I mean, she did in the minds of voters win the debate, but it doesn't mean that people are going to vote for her because she won the debate. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, did you win the debate if your poll numbers didn't improve? That's the question. So here's some context. So CNN conducted a poll after this Kamala Harris Trump debate, and they found that in their poll that those individuals said by a margin of 63-37 that Kamala Harris won the debate. So that's overwhelming. Overwhelming. People are saying she won the debate. CNN, in a same poll they've conducted in the past, when they conducted a poll after the first debate between Hillary Clinton and Trump in 2016, right? Hillary Clinton polled 62-27. 62% said that Hillary Clinton won that debate. And yet what happened in 2016? Trump won. Mitt Romney, after the first debate with Barack Obama in 2012, this same CNN poll found that those polled said that Mitt Romney won 67-25. And of course, Mitt Romney went on to lose the election. So Clinton lost despite winning the debate. Mitt Romney lost despite winning the debate in the CNN poll. And so now CNN has a poll saying that, oh, look, this is overwhelming in Kamala Harris. Well, the last times we've seen overwhelming victories, that person that won the debate didn't go on to win the election. And just to drive this point home, New York Magazine, which of course the audience is not me, it's not you for the most part, it's liberal Democrats. And New York Magazine, here's the headline, right? "Beware the rush to find a Harris bounce in post-debate polls." Is that sound like they're comfortable and confident that this debate was won, or more importantly, that this victory means anything in the end? They are cautioning their people. Oh, yeah, I know that we're out there telling you out of one side of our mouth that Kamala Harris won this debate resoundingly, but don't think that's going to translate into post-debate polls. Here's a poll quote. "Now that it's over, with Harris by near universal assent being adjudged the winner, many excited Democrats are expecting this consequential debate to produce a tangible, perhaps even decisive advantage for their candidate, particularly since the win was capped with the long-awaited Taylor Swift endorsement of Harris." Ooh, they should cool their jets. She didn't get a convention bounce and may not get a debate bounce, which means this could remain a dead even race in which Donald Trump will retain advantages, probably in the Electoral College, possibly in popular support that is stronger than the polls can capture, no matter how foolish or deranged he looked on the stage in Philadelphia. Does that sound like a left that is confident and exuberant about this victory? They're already telling people, look, this poll probably might this debate victory that we're celebrating may not actually mean anything. So they are pouring cold water already on their little party. Party poopers. And Trump says he won't debate her again. That's what he said. And I think it's a wise move. It's a wise move because Kamala Harris needs these debates, needs another debate more than he does. And the reason she needs it is because it's maybe not what you think it is. The reason she needs more debates and is desperate for more debates now is they're seeing the same information that I'm telling you now. And as I will go on to explain today to you, the more she opens her mouth, the more she damages her own credibility. She is her own worst enemy. And they need to keep her in hiding because the more she talks, the more people see her, the more people hear from her, the less they like her. She's not a likable person. And so if she could get another debate, which isn't going to happen, what happens with the news cycle? Well, they're given fodder the week before the debate and the week after the debate to do what? Talk about the debate. And so it gives Harris cover to go hide. So she doesn't have to face voters. She doesn't have to go out there and explain her positions or humiliate herself, embarrass herself, give more sound bites in which we can then respond and say, actually, you're out there saying you're against fracking again? Well, here's a clip. Here's 18 sound bites of you coming out and saying, I'm absolutely going to get rid of fracking. I support getting rid of fracking. And so this is why she wants these debates. That's why they're desperate to have more debates. It's not because she really won the debate. She didn't benefit from the debate victories, you can see. What the debates are about is keeping her in hiding and allowing the media to then generate perception-based, propaganda-based media that succeeds in some way in making perception reality. And so I do want to spend just a little bit of time on this debate because Kamala's alleged win, as I said, it was based on lies. Her lies and the lies of her teammates, the ABC moderators, David Muir and Lynn C. Davis. And in effect, they cheated. That's what happened, right? So the reality of the aftermath is that Trump is, in fact, the winner. Because, like I said in the beginning, she's like Lance Armstrong. Her infamy after the debate, by the way, this is going to banish her so-called achievements or victory on the debate stage so far. So you can stick an asterisk by that debate, quote unquote, victory, or you can take it away altogether. And that's what's happening now. People are taking away that victory from her. And and so, it's like, and I'm going to get into this in a minute. I'm going to take a short break before I get into it. But the Federalists compiled a list of 25 of the lies, and I'll go through a few of the big ones because I want to draw attention to them. It's important. And so, Trump losing in this debate, yeah, he lost. And when he lost in the moments in which he was falsely fact-checked by David Muir and Lynn C. Davis. So, in other words, he was called a liar, right? When in fact, it was the moderators and Harris who were the liars. So you got a couple of people over here, or three of them, but, the moderators being the adjudicators, if you will, that were helping this thing along. And they were grading the exam, fact-checking Trump and not fact-checking Kamala Harris, and they weren't qualified to do so. You actually had flunkies flunking Trump. And so that's what happened here. But anyway, we're going to take a short break here. And we get back, we're going to get into to some of these lies.
Don't let them win. Patriot TV is committed to delivering the truth. America's new network for patriots is growing fast, and we'd love you to join us as a member of Patriot TV. Your support makes it possible for us to continue to deliver unbiased reporting, thought-provoking discussions, and insights you won't find anywhere else. From in-depth interviews to behind-the-scenes footage, Patriot TV brings you closer to the voices shaping our nation's future. Whether it's political developments, cultural shifts, or global affairs, Patriot TV keeps you informed and empowered. As a member of Patriot TV, you'll get perks like personal invitations to exclusive Patriot TV events, where you can gather and network with like-minded Americans. We'll also host online events throughout the year with General Flynn, who's committed to host live Q&A webinars where callers like you can ask him questions and get real answers. Access to these events will be members only, so go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member. It's fast and easy. We have a great membership option starting at just $9.99 a month, or save with our annual membership for only $99, or take advantage of the best value, the 2-year membership for just $159. Go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member. It's fast and easy. Do your part to make sure the truth gets out to all patriots and help ensure future programming. Become a member today. Just go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member, join today.
Former National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael Flynn pleaded guilty today to lying to the FBI.
He was one of the most respected generals in the military.
Every American needs this historical DVD keepsake. Flynn delivered the truth, whatever the cost. Hand signed by General Michael Flynn. Order now at the Patriot TV store. Use promo code PTV at checkout to get special savings. The Patriot TV store, a secure, hassle-free shopping experience.
And we're back. So I want to get into some of these lies, right, that I was leading up to discussing. One of these lies, and it was more of a fact check from David Muir, a false fact check, by the way. Trump brought up crime statistics when he was talking about illegal immigration and what's happened under Democrat Party policies and over the last 3.5 years under this Biden-Harris administration. Everyone sees the stories. Everyone knows in their guts intellectually that there's a problem, that crime is up. And yet the left has put out this narrative to defend themselves against the indefensible positions and policies that have brought this just sickening violence to this country. Well, they've said, oh, no, crime's actually gone down. So they keep reporting, crime's actually gone down. Oh, really? That seems to fly in the face of reality, no? Well, it turns out that the DOJ has released its own statistics, and it turns out that David Muir flunked. It turns out that David Muir is a liar, a propagandist, or just a moron. And it's probably all three of those things. So compared to 2020, violent crime is up 40%. David Muir fact-checked Trump and said crime's gone down. But the DOJ, the Department of Justice, has its own statistics out there, and they say violent crime's up 40% since 2020. Rape is up 42%. Aggravated assaults are up 55%. Attacks on strangers up 61%. Car theft is up 42%. And most serious forms of violent crime are up 55%. So there you go. The guy that was giving Trump a grade was an ignoramus. And why is that, by the way? Why? Let me do Kamala Harris sitting there, trying to intimidate Trump. Her week away of studying how to get under Trump's skin. By the way, the left's all out there celebrating how this woman, Kamala Harris, could get under a man's skin. Why is that so impressive? Is that surprising to somebody? This is a woman who didn't get married till she was 50 years old. I mean, this is a professional at getting under men's skin because no men like her. Every man she's ever been with, including Willie Brown, the former mayor of San Francisco that she had an affair with, kicked her to the curb ultimately because no man can stand her. So, of course, she gets under Trump's skin. She gets under every man's skin. That is like her life story. But anyway, what do you think could be causing this 40% increase in violent crime since 2020? I don't know. Do you think perhaps the admission of 20 million illegals to this country could contribute? It's just a question. I'm just wondering. I mean, maybe David Muir could ask this question now that he knows the truth, now that I've told him, now that Trump's told him, and he realizes, hopefully, what a buffoon and clown he is. But of course, it's related to illegal immigration, violent criminals coming across the border, as Trump has repeatedly pointed out. And you've got this story that Trump mentioned during the debate. And again, they tried to fact check him on this, saying, oh, it wasn't true. And I'll get into it because it's hilarious. It's embarrassing for them. And this is going to help Trump because the American people are seeing what's happening and the Democrats are making fun of it. They're dismissing it when people are actually being affected by this. So, Haitians are allegedly, and it's not so allegedly because there are police reports to confirm much of this, but the Haitians are eating geese from the ponds in Springfield, Ohio, and pets, apparently, too. And I've told you how on December 24th, it's like a Christmas celebration in Haiti. Haitians, a group of them, they actually eat cats. They eat cats like we eat turkey. So why wouldn't, if these Haitians are going to the pond and eating geese, why wouldn't they also eat the cats or eat the dogs? I mean, this is in their culture. And that, of course, is the least of it. But it is shocking. And, Muir, when Trump was talking about this story, he said, we asked the city manager, and he said this wasn't happening. I mean, we asked the city manager? Well, did you ask any residents who actually made the claim, who filed the police reports, who are actually the ones who are telling us this is happening? No, we asked the city manager. You know what this is like? It's like you go and ask. It's like a murder is reported in an apartment complex or something, and the police show up and they do not interview the witness to the murder. Somebody says, I saw a murder take place, and the police show up and they say, and they end up meeting with the murderer. And they say, wait, hey, have you heard any reports of that? Have you seen any murders taking place? I mean, I got a phone call and they're saying that murder. So I'm just checking on this. Did this happen? And the murderer says, no, officer. No. Okay. My job's done here. Thank you for your information. That's what's happening here. This is such a joke, such a farce. I mean, not a single journalist decided to investigate, these stories, by the way, not one. So they're claiming it's not true because they called the city manager, who shockingly said, oh, no, I mean, whatever. Did you send a reporter? Did you send anybody to talk to anybody? No, they didn't. We called the city, and they were prepared for this, for the debate. They knew this was coming, and that was their talking point. And this is what the left depends upon, right? They're the fact checkers. They put it out there. It doesn't matter if it's not true. It's all the brain dead Democrat supporters need. Oh, no. CNN told me that Russia, the laptop, Hunter Biden's laptop, was Russian disinformation. Oh, okay. That's all. See, I mean, this is how they work. This is how they function. That's why I have their fact checkers, So like I said, you've got these police reports of Haitians taking geese. And by the way, who is responsible for the Haitians that are wreaking hell and havoc on the American citizens in Springfield, Ohio? Who is it, do you think? Is it Donald Trump? No, it can't be Donald Trump because he hasn't been in office. Well, let's just find out. Let me just play cut one here.
That is why, also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection.
Oh my, the Haitians, the illegals, they need protection. They need protection. So there she is. She's responsible, and she supported, and she championed, and she celebrated the transportation and assistance of moving 20,000 illegal Haitians to Springfield, Ohio, to eat the geese and eat the pets and kill citizens in Springfield, Ohio. There's no assimilation happening here. The Haitians have nothing in common with us. And as a matter of fact, actually, I don't think I printed the story out, unfortunately. But there's a Fox News story that was reporting that Haitians don't understand our laws. And the headline says it all. Haitians don't understand our laws. Exactly. They're coming from a third world country, and they're bringing their third world crap with them, their beliefs, and so on and so forth. And this is how you destroy a country. And that's the intention of this. Are Ohioans going to vote for Kamala Harris, who sent these 20,000 illegal Haitians to their towns and city centers, who are taking welfare and taking housing away from American citizens? Absolutely not. And that's why they have to lie about this and defend the Haitians now. So you're now a bad person, by the way, if you talk about this story, if you talk about what these Haitians are doing to the citizens there. But, you know, I want to point one other lie out while we're on this. Cut two. This is, you know, Kamala Harris says she's not the border czar, right? That was the big lie they started with, you know, a month or so ago. But here is actually the moment that Joe Biden named her the border czar.
I've asked her, the VP, today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks, stemming the migration to our southern border. So this new surge we're dealing with now started with the last administration, but it's our responsibility to deal with it humanely and to stop what's happening. And so this increase has been consequential.
So, you know, by the way, they signed 300 executive orders since he came into the office to deal with immigration, illegal immigration. And of course, it's gone up to levels we've never seen in our country's history and that would rival world history. No country's done this to themselves. No country's imported this many. And you know, if you are a sane, rational person, what this is going to do to this country. The consequences of this are not just cultural, they're economic, and they bring collapse. And that, of course, is the point, to collapse this nation. And, you know, like I said, the Democrats, of course, they're rushing to defend the Haitians. And their line is no surprise. You are a racist if you have a problem with these illegal Haitians being brought to your town, Springfield, Ohio, courtesy of the Democrat Party, courtesy of Kamala Harris. If you don't like it, you're a racist. So if you say anything bad about illegals, right, despite the fact that they're raping and killing, that they're responsible in large part for increasing violent crime in this country by 40%, that's on Kamala Harris's shoulders. Well, you are inviting harm against them. If you say an ill word about an illegal immigrant in this country and what they're doing, if you talk about it, if you have an honest conversation, if you express your concerns and worries as an American citizen, well, you are inviting harm against them. And it's very dangerous that you do that. So let me get this straight, according to Democrats. If you speak poorly about any group of people in this country, if you have an ill word to say about them, even if it's true, even if you're just calling out criminals, well, that's wrong. Well, if that's wrong, and if that's the basis of our line of thinking, speaking badly about someone else invites harm on them, and we shouldn't do it as a result, then why are Democrats doing that to Americans? Listen to this. This is Joy Reid and Eli Mistal, or whatever his name is. Looks like a clown. Listen to what they have to say about American citizens.
Also to do things, Ellie, that one would think are career-ending. The way he desecrated Arlington National Cemetery would be career-ending for a normal politician. His constant lies. But even this piece about saying, well, my building was the tallest until, you know, they brought down the World Trade Center. Now it's the second tallest. I mean, everything he does is despicable.
The reason why it doesn't end his career is because his supporters are just as despicable. All right. Like Trump's whole thing, he's a narcissist, right? And so his whole thing is to have a complete lack of compassion and empathy for everybody else. It's all about him. That's why he lies about 9/11. It's all about him, me. He's probably.
Anyway, you've heard enough there from Ellie Mistal or however she pronounced his name. But he's calling all of Trump's supporters despicable. I thought that you couldn't say that about illegal immigration. So if I say these Haitians, their behavior is despicable, they tell me I'm a racist. But there's Ellie Mistal on MSNBC with Joy Reid openly calling me and tens of millions of Americans despicable. Do you see how sick and perverted they are? Do you see why this can't be tolerated? Do you see why we can't modulate our behavior based on their, demands of it? Because they're the monsters. They're despicable. Joy Reid is despicable. Ellie Mistal is despicable. Kamala Harris is despicable. And they're all liars and frauds and hate mongers. And, I don't recall any assassination attempts against Haitians. Do you? I just can't think of any assassination attempts that have been reported. I can't think of any assassination attempts. None whatsoever. But I do. Now that I think of it, I do recall one assassination attempt against somebody, and I think his name is Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, I think that the one assassination attempt that is coming to mind not so long ago is, that's right, a failed assassination attempt on Trump. But they don't want anyone mentioning that, right? They don't want anyone mentioning that. So our rhetoric about these illegals is certainly not responsible for illegals raping Americans and killing Americans. It's not happening in the opposite, right? But we know that Democrat rhetoric has resulted in an assassination attempt on Trump. Not just him, but it goes back. You can go back to, the Bernie Sanders supporter that tried to shoot up the baseball field where congressional Republicans were practicing. Steve Scalise, representative out of Louisiana, almost lost his life because of that. We know the violence always goes one way. We know the violence is always aimed towards Republicans, towards the very people he's calling despicable. And as a matter of, I've heard people, I've had friends of mine, they say, Trump, he didn't bring up the assassination attempt at the debate. Why doesn't he bring up he did bring up the assassination attempt at the debate. And when he did, he got cut off by David Muir because the Democrats know that this is an emotional trigger for Americans. Somebody tried to kill a former president and a current presidential candidate. That's huge. If this had happened to Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, the media would still be talking about it. They're still talking about J6. But the assassination attempt on Trump, they want to memory hole it. They want a memory hole. So here's what happened at the debate when Trump did bring it up.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
So you saw what happened there, right? He just cuts him off. Oh, we have a lot to get. Yeah, why would we talk? Here's a debate question that should have been asked at the debate. Kamala, do you regret any of your rhetoric about Trump given the assassination attempt on his life? Wouldn't that have been a great debate question? Wouldn't that have been a wonderful debate question? Instead, they try to turn Trump, who's the victim of endless persecution and prosecution, unfair, lawless litigation. They try to turn him into the threat to democracy. And her, who's responsible for the actual political assassination of her own boss, Joe Biden, to take his spot and become the candidate, she's the victim here. Not Trump. Not Trump. What a joke. What a joke. We're going to take one more short break here. And we get back, I've got a lesson for Democrats out there who are starting to open their eyes about how to navigate the media circus right now. We'll be right back.
Don't let them win. Patriot TV is committed to delivering the truth. America's new network for patriots is growing fast, and we'd love you to join us as a member of Patriot TV. Your support makes it possible for us to continue to deliver unbiased reporting, thought-provoking discussions, and insights you won't find anywhere else. From in-depth interviews to behind-the-scenes footage, Patriot TV brings you closer to the voices shaping our nation's future. Whether it's political developments, cultural shifts, or global affairs, Patriot TV keeps you informed and empowered. As a member of Patriot TV, you'll get perks like personal invitations to exclusive Patriot TV events, where you can gather and network with like-minded Americans. We'll also host online events throughout the year with General Flynn, who's committed to host live Q&A webinars where callers like you can ask him questions and get real answers. Access to these events will be members only, so go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member. It's fast and easy. We have a great membership option starting at just $9.99 a month, or save with our annual membership for only $99, or take advantage of the best value, the 2-year membership for just $159. Go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member. It's fast and easy. Do your part to make sure the truth gets out to all patriots and help ensure future programming. Become a member today. Just go to patriot.tv, click on Become a Member, join today.
And we are back. So, a quick lesson for those of you who are recognizing the matrix, you're coming awake, you're realizing that things aren't adding up, that perhaps the things the Democrat Party's been telling you for the last 8 years aren't true, that in fact things aren't better for you, despite, they keep telling you they're better for you, but they're not. And so here's a quick lesson for those of you confused still because you're new to reality, confused about what's true and what's not. If the Democrats and the media tell you something is true, it's probably not. And if the Democrats and the media tell you something is not true, it probably is. That is as sure a way as you can have to navigate this confusing world of propaganda. If they tell you it's true, it's not. And if they tell you it's not true, it is. So, for example, Kamala Harris on the debate stage, and they've been saying this for a long time, nobody respected Trump. The world leaders respect Kamala Harris. They respect me. They don't respect Trump. Really, this is interesting because here is what happened when, what's his, well, we'll hear his name in a second when I get to the clip. But about the Biden-Harris administration taking a trip to visit the Polish. Here's what they were told.
Blinken, go home. Go home as soon as possible. Get lost. Get lost. We don't want you here.
Wait a second. But I thought that world leaders respected and admired Kamala Harris, that they wanted a Harris administration. There is the Polish government saying, don't come. We don't want you, Tony Blinken. That's who I was trying to think of, right? You heard it in the clip. We don't want you, Tony Blinken. Stay away. Imagine that. One of our longtime allies that goes back obviously to World War II, a very important ally of ours, Poland. Look what this administration, the Democrat Party, have done to our relationships around the world. We now have the Polish saying, F you, USA. You may have saved us in World War II, but now we want nothing to do with you. Interesting, isn't it? Now, a couple of important lies I want to address. One is Kamala Harris says she's not going to take away your guns. Me and Tim Walz, we're gun owners. We're gun owners, and that means we would never. Yeah, you've got Secret Service protection, too. I don't have Secret Service protection. Heck, Donald Trump had Secret Service protection, and they were so bad that he was almost killed. So we don't want to take away your guns. Well, here is a video that the NRA put together. Very, very effective. I'll play some of it here for you.
We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. I do believe that we need to do buybacks. I support buybacks.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory. We want to ban assault weapons.
We need an assault weapons ban.
We need reasonable gun safety laws in this country, starting with universal background checks and a renewal of the assault weapon ban. I'm also in favor of the assault weapons ban, of universal background checks, red flag laws. Congress needs to have the courage to act and renew the assault weapons ban.
Well, that's interesting. She says she's not interested in coming for our guns, that's a lie. And yet, in the beginning, you heard her supporting a universal buyback program, which means you don't have a choice. You have to sell your gun to the federal government, which means they're disarming you. All the other positions she took there in that clip put together say the same. An assault weapons ban. You like your AR-15? You can't have your AR-15. And what is an assault weapon anyway? How about assault knives? I get into this all the time. More people are killed by knives than AR-15s in this country every year. That's according to the FBI statistics. So if stopping murder is so important, then they would also ban knives or automobiles for that matter. More people are killed in automobile accidents than by AR-15s. Just a thought. Just a thought. Now, this one's going to be hard for some of you to listen and watch to, but listen and watch. But you had, during this debate, another fact check on Trump, both by Kamala Harris and I believe Lindsey Davis as well. Trump was talking about abortion and how certain states and Democrats support killing the baby even after it's born, even in the 9th month. And they said, nowhere in this country is that happening. And they tried to paint Trump as a lying buffoon. And yet Lindsey Davis and Kamala Harris are liars and frauds. So yeah, they won the debate because they humiliated Trump, because they called Trump out for this ridiculous lie about Democrats supporting infanticide. And yet, if you even just use Google, if you even have been paying attention for the last 5 years in this country, you will know that Donald Trump was actually telling the truth, and it was the flunkies that were the moderators that were lying. So here is the first clip. It's a longer clip, but I want you to hear it all. This is a woman named Kathy Tran. She serves in the government in Virginia, or at least did. This is her being asked about her bill that she supports in Virginia. This was back, I think, probably when Governor Northam was the governor of Virginia, and I've got a clip of him too. But they're saying that Democrats don't support this. This is an absolute lie from Donald Trump, that Democrats and people in this country that are Democrats and politicians support infanticide. And yet here is this clip. Listen to this. This is in Virginia.
Delegate Tran.
Yes, sir.
How late in a pregnancy would your bill apply if a physician was simply willing to certify that the continuation of the pregnancy would impair the mental health of the woman? How late are we talking about?
Well, so the way the suggestion that we've made in the bill is to say it's in the 3rd trimester and at the, with the certification of the physician. So
how late in the 3rd trimester would you be able to do that?
It's very unfortunate that our physicians, witnesses, were not able to attend today to speak specifically.
No, I'm talking about your bill. How late in the 3rd trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
Or physical health.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the mental health.
So, through the 3rd trimester. The 3rd trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Okay. But to the end of the 3rd trimester.
Yep. I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
So, where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth, she has physical signs that she is about to give a birth, would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified? She's dilating.
Mr. Chairman, that would be a decision that the doctor, the physician, and the woman would make.
I understand that. I'm asking
point.
if your bill allows that.
My bill would allow that, yes.
Wow. So the bill would allow that. Infanticide, in other words. But I thought that Lindsey Davis, who's so smart from ABC, and Kamala Harris, who's such a genius, they said that that's not true. That's not happening. Well, here's Ralph Northam in 2019 on a radio show. Listen to this.
No exception. There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on 3rd trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion, even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support her measure and explain her answer?
Yeah, and I wasn't there, Julie, and I certainly can't speak for Delegate Tran, but I would tell you first thing I would say is this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved. There are, when we talk about 3rd trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way.
Oh, well, hey, the baby's born, it's out of the womb, it's in this world, and, there's a conversation that happens. It's not like it just gets killed. I mean, the mother has to agree and the physician has to agree, and they come to agreement, and only then is the baby slaughtered. So I just want you to know that the Democrat position on abortion is far more radical than anything on the right. And frankly, if the left's position is going to be infanticide, I would much rather outlaw abortion. If I had to choose two positions, no abortions or infanticide, I'm going to choose no abortions whatsoever. But of course, people on the right aren't even calling for that for the most part. But they want to get caught up on this IVF crap. They want to get caught up on, a woman's rights, to choose and so on and so forth. I mean, listen to that. They're talking about a woman's right to murder the baby. So this is what we're talking about. There's no rational conversation happening on the left about abortion. People on the right are willing to have that conversation, but that's where the leaders of the Democratic Party are pushing the abortion issue. And they're saying Donald Trump's a liar. He's not a liar. This should incense every American. Do we want to be in a country that allows infanticide? What does that say about us as a nation? No way. No way. One thing that was interesting, I did not hear much about climate. Have you noticed that the Democrats have basically totally abandoned the issue of climate change? Isn't that curious to you? I mean, it's like it's nowhere. This used to be the most important issue. I mean, Democrats have said for like 40 years, climate change is an existential threat. And yet somehow, all of a sudden in this election, it doesn't matter. Kamala Harris is now saying, so out of one side of her mouth, Kamala Harris is saying she's got to save the planet. She believes in man-made climate change. It's an existential threat. And yet now she's supporting fracking, which is responsible, they say, for this man-made climate change that's going to end the earth. And where are the abortion advocates on this, by the way? The people that want infanticide. You cannot very well enjoy murdering your baby or getting knocked up if you're an infanticide supporter out there if we don't have a planet. So where's this issue? Where's the climate change issue? Why is this on hiatus all of a sudden? I'll tell you why. Because it's the climate change policies they've supported, including the falsely named Inflation Reduction Act, which was intended to spur this shift from gas, to these renewable sources and green energy sources. Well, it's destroying the economy. And people are suffering because of rising energy costs, the price of gasoline at the pump, and so they won't touch this issue. You see what hacks the Democrats are? If climate change is such an existential threat, why are they not hammering it every day? Why are they not seeking to make their climate change policies a central point of their campaign? If that's truly the most important and biggest threat that we face as a nation, because it's not. And now all of a sudden, it's not that important of an issue. There's no discussion about rushing to save the planet anymore. They've got to win an election. So, not a peep about that. Not a peep. Now, a couple other stories here. We're running out of time here. And actually, as a matter of fact, we're going to take one more short break here. And then we'll get back and we will close out the show. You don't want to miss it.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
All right, and we are back for the remaining moments of the show. There's nothing that Harris says that is honest, by the way. Harris, says her communist policies are going to grow the economy. And as a matter of fact, she's saying that Goldman Sachs supports that. So I want you to hear this clip of Kamala Harris telling a lie.
Goldman Sachs, for example, had said that my plan would grow our economy and his plan would shrink the economy.
Okay, so there you have. That's Kamala Harris telling people that Goldman Sachs says her plan's great for the economy. Well, just like the Haitian issue with eating geese and pets, they didn't go and actually interview any of the witnesses. So what if you asked the CEO of Goldman Sachs about that? Well, he was asked that. Let's see what he had to say. Did he verify that he does, in fact, believe and did say that about the Kamala Harris policies and economy? I don't know. Let's see. Cut 10. Isn't this fun?
Let's talk some politics. Debate was last night. Not sure if you had a chance to see it or not. Your own economic team, of course, has made news of late, suggesting that the bigger boost to growth would come from the Harris economic plan, at least over the first couple of years. She mentioned it last night. You feel the same?
So that report, which was mentioned last night in the debate, came from an independent analyst. And it's interesting, Scott. I think a lot more has been made of this than should be. What the report did is it looked at a handful of policy issues that have been put out by both sides, and it tried to model their impact on GDP growth. And the reason I say a bigger deal's been made of it is what it showed is the difference between the sets of policies that they put forward was about 0.2%. Okay, so economy grows. Okay.
So let's just stop there. The point is, Goldman Sachs didn't say it. She's a liar. Goldman Sachs didn't do that report. That was some other study out there. So she cannot help but lie. But I do have some good news because Tim Walz, who is one of the biggest liars out there and frauds, he actually finally told the truth. I could not believe my ears. He was talking about Kamala Harris, and he was describing her. And I cannot believe that he finally cut to the core of her character and who she is. It is really, really an unbelievable thing to hear. If I can actually remember what clip it is. Here we go. Cut 11.
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prostituter.
What? A young prostituter. He loves the story of Kamala Harris, who started out as a young prostituter. Let me play it again.
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prostituter. Kamala Harris talked about going in that.
He said it. She's a young prostituter. I am not calling Kamala Harris a prostituter. Tim Walz needs to answer for calling her a prostituter. So there's Tim Walz, proud of Kamala Harris, starting out as a prostituter. Man, it's amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? All right. Well, we had a lot of stuff. I think that we'll just close out with this story, which I think is important. Kamala Harris is changing her strategy now going into November. Now, if this debate was such a victory for her and it was so wonderful, why would she be changing her strategy now? Now, it's interesting. So Vice President Kamala Harris, who has only sat so far for one interview, scripted, taped interview, cut down, spliced up, 17 minutes is always got from her. Well, now she's going to go on a couple of local and national interviews in the next few weeks. That's according to a campaign memo from the New York Times. Despite the economy being the number one issue facing the country, the sitting vice president generally reverted to talking points about a few of her policy proposals, CNN's Jake Tapper said after the debate. Even Harris allies today are saying she needs to talk more about what she will do for Americans if elected. So she's going to sit for a few local interviews in battleground media markets. And, what's amazing, though, is this is a conundrum for Kamala Harris because she can't campaign on policies to fix the violent crime. She can't campaign on inflation, fixing inflation, or border security without doing what? Undermining her own policies that have created it in the first place. And, it's not looking good because 61% of likely voters believe the next president should represent a major change from the Biden-Harris administration, while only 25% said Harris represents that change. This is a Times Siena College poll that found on last Sunday. And a majority said former President Donald Trump represents the change. So, I mean, that's it. That's it. And, just to end with this story with John Kirby, yet another lie from the Democrat Party, of course. They want to paint Trump as somebody who insults our military and doesn't love our military. I mean, that's a big lie. They're trying to attack one of the most important qualities he has. Everyone agrees with that. That he does support the military, that they love him. The evidence is abundant, but they want to spin a different narrative. And yet John Kirby accidentally criticized veterans in an email meant for internal communication, but accidentally sent to Fox News on 9/11. And the White House dismissed a GEO report on the 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal. We know John Kirby still says he saw no evidence of chaos in the withdrawal. And anyway, on September 11th, 2024, John Kirby, the White House National Security Council communications advisor, emailed Fox News Digital by mistake. And in the email, he dismissed veterans' critical views of the Afghanistan withdrawal, describing them as concerns from a handful of vets of one stripe. That's your Biden administration. That's your Harris administration. That's your Democrat Party insulting veterans who dare criticize this administration, who got 13 U.S. service members slaughtered in a suicide bombing in the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. All right, folks, we're in this final stretch. Hang tight. Tell the truth. Stay optimistic. Do not apologize for Trump. Do not go on the defense. Attack, attack, attack. Because we are right, they are wrong, and we must win. All right, this is Drew Allen. God bless you all, and until next time.